name is Mr. Kasidit Tansangwan, Director of the Digital Currency team. I'm responsible for CBDC development in Bank of Thailand. Thank you very much for the opportunity today that we can share some of our motivations, past experience in developing our CBDC and our upcoming pilots roadmap for future CBDC. Agenda today will be motivations, use case, experience in lesson learned, what we got from CBDCs, upcoming pilots and roadmap. Before we jump to the CBDC, I will give you the overview of Bank of Thailand payment landscape. First, we don't have a non-bank problem. About 82% of the Thai people have their banking account, but 45% of them are underbanked, means they only can access to basic finance products. We have fast payment called Prompt Pay, which has no transaction fee. And today there are 70 million registered accounts with Prompt Pay. Today, Thai peoples are mainly use Prompt Pay to pay goods and services. The value via Prompt Pay transactions is around 116 billion Thai baht, or approximately 3.28 billion US dollar. It seems that we don't have any problem in our payment system, but we think there's still room for CBDCs. First, we think that the CBDC will offer the potentials of the open and modern payment infrastructures that is more amenable to the innovations, bypassing the legacy system and industry setup. CBDC can be public infrastructures, which is open for all the players to provide more financial products and services. Since there are some players who can access to the today infrastructures. Second, we think that the new designs in CBDC will help to support and scale to the new innovations, financial products and services compared to the existing infrastructures which rely on the legacy system. And third, we think that the CBDC as a risk-free nature, it can be used as a foundation of trust to develop and connect with other private development, which is fundamentally safe to the customer. Bank of Thailand engaged in the CBDC works in 2018 with the first experiment in the wholesale CBDC under the name of the Project Internon. The first two phases of the projects are experiment in how the wholesale CBDC can be used to enhance our existing RTGS. Many key features such as the queuing mechanism, grid lock resolutions, liquidity injections, or even the interbank bond trading with the DVP properties have been tested in the DLT CBDC setting. In 2019, we have partnered with the HKMA, Hong Kong Monetary Authorities to conduct the CBDC networks for the cross-border payments. Under this setting, the commercial bank will manage the settle their effects with PVP manners and directly transfer their CBDC to the designating banks in peer-to-peer without corresponding bank. This is resulting in the reductions 80% of the current transaction time. Today, the project's internal dialogues has expanded and developed to support multi-currency CBDC network. Under the project's Bridge, which PBOC, CBUE, and BS Innovation Hub in Hong Kong are participating in the projects. The pilot is currently in progress at the moment, and the result will be out later this year. Along with the wholesale experiment, we also engaging the study in the retail CBDC in 2020. We have joined our 3-month experiment with the corporates to link our CBDC to their tokenized invoice. Under this experiment, we try to make the conditional payments with the corporate supply chain management. And today we are about to have the upcoming live pilots in the retail CBDC later this year until the mid of next year. Our experiments that I mentioned earlier, there are three areas that I would like to bring to pick and share for today. First, under the blockchain setting, it entails a trade-off between privacy and scalability speed. Because by nature of the blockchains is fundamentally designed to be decentralized and transparent. Therefore, if we impose more privacy mechanism to the blockchain, the system will require the higher resource computations due to the extra of encryptions, decryption process. As a result, the system will become difficult to scale and performance will be slowed down. For example, in the internal dialogue phase 2 that we have done previously, we try to implement the privacy settings on a need-to-know basis, which means that the transactions detail can only be visible to the participant of the transactions. Fulfilling this privacy requirements resulting in the needs of multiple technical operations steps just to complete one business FX transactions. For example, in our case, we revealed that the cross currency FX transaction involve two currency. We require like at least 9 to 10 operational steps. The more currency involved, then the more configuration process are needed, and making it impractical to scale to the longer term. For the programmability is one of the CBDC selling point, but there's potential drawback. One of the key features of the CBDC is that it is programmable, meaning that the participant can write the program into the form of smart contracts on the CBDC to determine where, when, how, by whom can be used. While programmabilities offer many opportunities for the innovative use case, it can also pose new risks. For example, the smart contract will be immutable once deployed, meaning they cannot be changed. As such, they will require extensive auditing before deployments. Otherwise, the cost of amendments by creating the new smart contracts and transitioning all related system application will be very high afterwards. This immutability aspect is particularly concerning as the flexibilities of the CBDC related to the smart contracts may not match with the dynamics or rapid evolving financial environments. The virtues of the immutabilities can quickly become a vice of the inflexibilities. Many obstacles in the cross-border payments context stem from broader interoperability issues that the technology alone cannot be solved. This includes, for example, difference in the domestic regulations standard related to the AML/CFT requirements, FX regulations, as well as the settlement finalities. How to automate and embedded jurisdiction-specific compliance and reporting requirement into the platform pose significant challenge. Lastly, we need to think about the establishment of governance structures for the platform, as well as the participation model to onboard new participants in the CBDC network. Interoperability through the technology is just part of the big pictures and cannot be solved all these kind of issues. This call for the collaborations approach achieve the efficient cross-border to achieve the efficient cross-border cross-currency payment system. For our pilots in upcoming retail CBDC later this year is to evaluate the CBDC design for both from technical and non-technical objective. For the technical part, we'll evaluate the securities interoperability issue with our existing system. For non-technical, we would like to understand the business incentive for developing CBDC to prepare operational issues, legal and policy framework in the futures. Under realized pilots, CBDC will be used for paying goods and service under the designated area. CBDC will be obtained and distributed by the selected intermediary, which are both bank and non-banks. to the selected 10,000 retail users. The user can be convert CBDC to their bank account via mobile banking. And they also can transfer that CBDC with other CBDC wallets and can also be used to with the standard QR codes during the pilots. The role of the Bank of Thailand are for issue, redeem, and verify CBDC transactions. The personal transaction data of the users are kept within the intermediary, which they have open CBDC wallet with. For the pilot is conducted into two tracks, which are the foundations and innovation track. The foundation is to conduct basic transaction, as I described earlier. For the innovation tracks is we focusing on the programmabilities, which bring the developments of the innovation use case for the CBDC, resulting in new financial services for a wide range of customers. We will allow private sectors and publics to participating in the presenting business use case for the retail CBDC via CBDC hackathon. This will help us to develop and improve the design of the CBDC to suit the Thai context in the futures. So the winners of the proposal of the CBDC use case will be implemented in the testing environment to further evaluations. CBDC pilots conduct later this year and last until the mid of next year. We have a clear communication with the public that this retail CBDC pilots is a part of our study and developments of the retail CBDC to assess the suitabilities of the technology and the CBDC design. At the present, the BOT does not have plan to issue the retail CBDC, as the issuers require true considerations of benefit and associated risks for the financial system. Along the pilot, we also warn the public to cautions about the fraud, scam, claimings to provide the retail CBDC related to the service or investment, since there are many cases in the past. Okay, and you can download all our works in CBDC in QR codes that I provide in the slide. And thank you very much for the opportunity today. Thank you.
អាដាមលោកជំទាវជាទីគោរពកម្មវិធីបន្តនេះខ្ញុំសូមគោរពអញ្ជើញលោកអុកសារ៉ាត់ប្រធាននាយកដ្ឋានប្រព័ន្ធទូទាត់សងប្រាក់ធនាគារជាតិនៃកម្ពុជា